This review will be full of spoilers, so go watch Voltron Legendary Defender because it's amazing. The story is well executed, the characters are fun and full of promise, although these two can get on my nerves for reasons I'll explain later. So you've been warned. Let's talk plot. Maybe the first time you read that sentence you're like, alright, that sounds like your typical cartoon action series, and then you're like, flying robot lions?
What in the Sam Hill is that?
It appears to be a flying blue lion, sir.
Yes, there are flying robot lions in the series, and yes, the original Voltron show came before Power Rangers made their flying robot animals. Thank you very much, get out of my face.
What's our next amusement, Count Zeta? Do we torture the captives or eat the birthday cake?
Let us torture the captives by eating the cake in front of them.
Excellent. I'll cut a slice right now. Ah!
The numbing of time taught me how to finally fall asleep. I just wish you'd come home and teach me how to wake back up.
This show's premise is silly. It's about 5 teens who pilot 5 giant space lion robots that come together to form an even bigger robot named Voltron. You've got lots of technobabble and plot points that revolve around conventions like fate and destiny. The universe has brought us 5 people with the exact qualifications to be pilots to these sentient lions. Who'd have thought? And there are talking mice. I love the talking mice. You think I'm kidding? No, I like the talking mice. fucking love them. The Voltron team could have gone out of their way to distract the audience from its silly premise, but the creative team made the decision to embrace its subject matter. Voltron wholly devotes itself to the idea of giant fighting robot space lions. The show takes care to explore the relationships between the lions and their respective paladins. The mice are not hidden away in some crook of the narrative, but are active characters who are capable of murder! Nah, don't worry, these guys are robots. Otherwise, DreamWorks would never get away with this. Fucking chopped him in half! Holy shit! Holy fuck, he's fucking dead! The silly elements of Voltron, when treated with such care, become serious in their own right. You don't have to be dark and gritty to be taken seriously by your audience. You just have to believe in the story you're telling, and your audience will believe with you. That being said, for the most part, Voltron knows how to balance its darker and lighter themes, but sometimes the transitions can get a little rocky. Oh, that's so sweet and cute. Oh my god, Shiro, what the fuck? Sometimes the point of a scene or story is to derail the audience. You can get away with pinging between light and dark elements if the inconsistent tone is part of the narrative, and the confusion of your audience serves your story's message. But Voltron is a story about cohesion, or togetherness in the face of conflict.
Everyone is relying on us. We can't fail. We won't fail. If we work together, we'll win together. Yeah!
Your story's tone can be silly or dark or a combination thereof, but the scenes still need to mesh well or the audience isn't going to stay grounded in your universe. I swear, sometimes the Voltron team member makes a joke and I'm flung right out of the story.
Paladins, you need to get out of there as soon as you can!
This is it. We're gonna die in here. I could say bye-bye to that parade.
You're trapped underground. The entire planet is unstable. You have to rescue a whole species from total destruction. People are going to die! We'll talk about Lance's jokes later. For now, let's focus on the positives. I think the episode Across the Universe does a really stellar job of juggling all these different tones. It's one of my favorite episodes because it manages to combine lighthearted, cutesy jokes with very serious life or death stakes. Across the Universe does in fact travel across the universe in the form of 4 different storylines. The audience moves between Keith and Shiro's time on an alien planet, to Pidge's adventures in a field of space debris, to Allura and Karan's attempts to escape a wormhole time loop, to Zarkon's ship where Hagar is trying to find the mole who let Voltron escape. Each storyline in this episode maintains a sense of underlying tension.
No, what's wrong?
I need to get out of here! I need to find my friends!
These 4 scenes may be outright silly or downright dark, but that thread of tension unifies every story and ties the scenes together. It allows for a comprehensive viewing experience, even with the inclusion of jokes like this one.
I can only express myself through music! Karan, if you don't turn that down, I swear I'll turn this castle around and what? We're just gonna run into this void that's coming up here? I hate everybody!
On the other end of the spectrum, I was taken out of the narrative of Space Mall by the stark contrast of Cow Race and Zarkon versus Shiro Duel to the Death. Not because the 3 storylines of that episode were written badly, I love Pidge and Lance's teamwork here so much, by the way, but because the leap between Paul Blart comedy and Shiro getting strangled by the chief antagonist was too big for me to breach, at least without a moment of confusion on my part. I think it needed a similar thread of tension to tie the 3 narratives together. Paul Blart was great, but he wasn't exactly a real threat, and Allura's only danger was boredom. So the transition between their stories and Shiro's was always going to be a little jarring. Lance and Hunks' jokes can sometimes get to me for the same reason. They can come out of nowhere and shake me out of the narrative. I think a lot of it comes down to whether or not you as an audience member enjoy Hunks' food metaphors and Lance's allusions to glory and cute girls.
She doesn't like you, okay? Jesus Christ!
I would groan when Hunk made some of his food jokes.
Yeah.
But I couldn't quite describe why it didn't work for me. Like, because usually I'm fine with humor, but like...
Right.
It didn't work.
Well, I think we're just frustrated with how one-dimensional the characters are at present.
That's true.
Because, like, we get some characterization, like the Pidge and Shiro backstories, but Hunk has, like, 0 backstory. We don't know what he is. We don't know his, like, nationality, ethnicity, or anything, so he just kind of is there making gross food jokes and throwing up for humor, and I can't deal with it.
That's all he is right now.
Yeah.
Is the food guy. And so he makes a food joke and you're like, of course he would make the food joke.
Yes. That's why we feel the way we do about Lance, too.
Yeah.
Because the only thing he's doing right now is flirting. And so when we read fanfics where he actually has depth, we're like, oh, he's okay now.
Yeah.
But he doesn't
go
have
back to the
depth.
show.
I know.
That's it. I'm coming to help.
Don't sweat it, Allura. I already saved one beautiful alien princess. Doing it again shouldn't be a problem.
What? You? Saved me? When I get to that planet, you're going to have to rescue my foot from your...
Hey, media, maybe teach kids not to keep flirting with a woman after she's shown nothing but anger and discomfort for your romantic advances. So, I don't like the body humor, or the jokes about Lance and Allura. Like, don't get me wrong, I think the Voltron team is hilarious, and I love a lot of Lance's lines.
The amount of information in your brain could be stored in a paper airplane.
Oh yeah? Well, the amount of information you have, Keith, could be...
Yeah?
It's less than what I have.
Oh, good one, Lance.
And while Hunk bothered me for the first few episodes...
Also, is this gonna be a long trip? Because I have to pee.
Make it stop. He provides a lot of my favorite comedic moments, particularly because his voice actor is fucking amazing.
Hang on!
How deep is this thing?
The problem with working with an ensemble cast is that you're gonna have to pick and choose who gets developed. The Voltron crew only has so much time to flesh out their leads, and they have 5 main characters. At this point, Hunk and Lance have kind of suffered for lack of screen time, I think. Hunk got a big bit of development back on Balmera when he realized what he was fighting for and stood up as an engaged, dedicated member of the Voltron team. I think Lance needs to be confronted with a similar conflict in order for his character to really progress. The Voltron crew tried this with the depths, but Lance didn't seem to emerge from the arc with any personal revelations besides, wow, I can make sonic waves! Lance does deeply value his teammates, and there's even been a couple moments when he's doubted his place on the team.
I mean, they wouldn't keep me on the team if I didn't contribute in some way, would they?
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just a 5th wheel. 7th if you count Grand and Allura. That's a horrible wheel to be.
Yeah.
You can tell he's hiding something underneath the bravado. I'd like to see this angle of Lance's character explored further. Lance's remarks about glory and parades, coupled with Lance's rivalry with Keith, demonstrates to me a fierce desire within Lance to prove his worth. I want to know where that desire came from, and whether Lance will even accept himself as enough at the end. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some development on that front this next season. Only a couple more days, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind! But yeah, for the rest of the cast, fucking Pidge! I fucking love Pidge! She has so much shit to deal with in regards to her dad and her brother, but she still devotes herself wholeheartedly to the team, and she cares so much, and she's queer-coded, and I mean, I got pretty psyched when I first watched Voltron because I thought Pidge might, actually be canonically trans, but whatever. I'm still so happy she's queer-coded.
Wait, I have something to say first. I need to come clean, and I'm afraid this may change the way you all think about me. Just so there are no secrets between us anymore, I can't man up. I'm a girl. I mean, I can man up because that's just a figure of speech. I don't have to actually be a man to man up. I just have to be tough. But what I'm saying...
What? You're a girl?
If you've ever struggled with gender identity or coming out to your friends and family, you're definitely gonna relate to this little bundle of sunshine. I just love Pidge! And Shiro! Oh, don't even get me started on Shiro. Okay.
It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for young men to enjoy.
This is a family show. And Shiro has PTSD. Legit. The Galra replaced his arm with a cyborg prosthetic. He suffers from debilitating flashbacks. He's shown to experience panic attacks. It's hinted that he doesn't sleep a lot.
Do you really think a monster like you could be a Voltron paladin?
Stop it! And the team responds so well. They're so supportive of Shiro, especially Keith.
Shiro, are you okay?
I'm honestly shocked that the Voltron crew decided to explore Shiro's trauma. I don't often see panic attacks and other PTSD symptoms portrayed on live-action television, let alone in animated shows. If you've seen my Sherlock review, then you know I care a lot about representation, and I'm really glad the creative team didn't shy away from Shiro's disorders. It's unfortunate, but a lot of young people experience panic and anxiety disorders. I think it's great that young people are going to be able to see a character survive extensive trauma and still triumph as a member of a team. But yeah, Keith. Love Keith! He's got the angst and the emo shit down and the social confusion.
No. The cheer includes the instructions. I say Vol and you say... Voltron? We'll work on it.
And he's also great at mood boards. What is their fucking backstory? I'm gonna lose my mind! I have never been in a fandom with this amount of shipping drama, by the way. I ship Sheath. Only a bunch of people are like, no, that's pedophilia. And I'm like, guys, there are no official ages. Some people think Keith's 16 and Shiro's over 25. I think Keith is 18 to 19 and Shiro is 22 to 25, so that's fine. Because again, there are no official ages. The comic and the Netflix description even call all 5 paladins teenagers, so chill my dudes. You gotta pick your battles. I read Keith and Shiro as adults. These two have only ever shown support and concern for each other. Go outside. Go donate to a charity. Remember that this is a cartoon show about flying robot space lions. Stop telling people to kill themselves because they think 2 people would be sweet together.
No ships are canon.
Yeah, none are.
It's just creativity. And I mean, if people are gonna go and start talking about, oh, Shaladin is pedophilia and all this stuff, well, first of all, learn the definition of pedophilia.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Have I mentioned how much I love this show's art direction? Look at this shit. Look at this shit. I am seriously blown away by these backgrounds every fucking time. Kudos to the character design crew as well. I love how these guys look. Everything's so gosh darn pretty. So I play favorites with literary motifs and techniques, and let me tell you, I am a Babylonian whore for flower symbolism and parallels. And yeah, Voltron doesn't go down the flower symbolism road, but I wanted to share some of my favorite parallels with y'all. Both Allura and Keith have to reject the memory of their respective fathers for the greater good of the universe.
You don't have to fight, Allura. You don't have to make this sacrifice.
Goodbye, Father.
Goodbye, Allura.
If you go out that door, you'll never find out who you are.
Goodbye, Dad.
In a similar fashion, Pidge has to stay behind with Voltron rather than pursue her father and her brother on her own. There's this ongoing motif of children straying from their parents and carving out their own path through life. And I'll be interested to see how that extends to Prince Loder and his father's Archon. The idea of found family is deeply ingrained in this story's universe as well, with the main cast referring to each other as family several times.
I realized when we were in Voltron, we're brothers, man.
Shiro, you're like a brother to me.
I've grown to consider you and the Paladins my family.
It's obvious to me that unity and love will play a key role in the eventual saving of the universe. A quick for funsies parallel, Keith and doors!
How about we just lay low and you don't blow our cover? Keith, think about what you're doing. Don't walk through that door!
Keith's a great fighter, but his stubbornness has led to some nasty conflicts. In short, Keith doesn't really know when to quit.
Sometimes the greatest challenge is knowing when to stop.
He'll never quit.
One way or another, this will end. Knowledge or death.
I think the doors in Keith's life represent many things. In the Blade of Malmora, they both lead to an endless loop of suffering at the hands of the Galra and Keith's eventual rescue. If Keith had stayed with his father in the dream, Keith very well could have died. Before, Keith charged through life on his own terms. Now he's part of a team, and Keith has to make his decisions more carefully.
Guess I really wasn't supposed to go through that door.
Moving on to hand grabbing.
Minor change of plans. You'll be fine. Just remember, patience yields focus.
Patience yields focus. It's good to have you back.
It's good to be back.
Good to have you back, Keith. Good to be back.
Shiro, are you okay? Keith, are you okay? Is everything okay? Is everything okay?
Stop what you're doing.
Okay, I'm done. Go watch Voltron. It's got beautiful art, a story with plenty of laughs and pain, characters you'll love, characters you hope get more screen time, and enough fan theories to make your head spin. Go! Be merry!